Hey, you guys. I am back. Sorry about that. I got a new phone and it let me start recording. I really love the definition that it had, but it's nothing like having something that you know it's gonna work and it's gonna come on time. Oh, reliable, I guess. Um, so that's why I haven't been on here a lot. And then plus, I've been transitioning uh, with jobs and everything else. So I really haven't had, much time. Oh yeah, and my small business has been booming, so I'm so grateful. I thank God for that. Um, so yeah, I've been very very extremely busy. So yeah, but anywho, I wanted to make this video because it just started making me think. Like we just got finished dealing with COVID-19, and believe it or not, um, most people are like back to their normal lives, trying to go back and make the best kind of normalcy that they possibly can. Um, some people are still feeling like they can go back to their normal life, like nothing has happened. I will tell you this: this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm not trying to put any fear in anyone. Um, But when you know, you know. You know, in psychology, they call it social conditioning. You know, I was in school for psychology that was talking about social conditioning. And what they do is they phase you out. They put you in these different blockades, and they train you with different patterns. You know, when we were dealing with that COVID, we were getting trained. We were literally getting trained. Um, if you ever like look up social conditioning, um, a lot of our freedoms got taken away. You know, as far as um, come on over. Sorry, you guys, we're running across the street. Okay, come on, run. All right, good. I can get up out the sun a little bit. Yeah. So, sorry about that. A lot of our things were taken away from us. Um, our freedom to do what we wanted to do with our bodies. Like we literally had to go in with masks. We had to stay at home. An executive order was made to stay at home. People don't think that's a big deal because it's like, okay, well you can go out at different times, but it really is a big deal. Meaning that in other countries, other than the U.S., there are some countries that have this social stay at home order, and they were told that they would either be in prison, and even some of the cities in the states in in our country, they said they would either imprison these people if they come outside, or they would get caned. They would literally get the punishment of the law. So that's a freedom. That's a freedom. Um, we also have a lot of limitations. You know, think about during the depression, they couldn't buy tires because they needed rubber. You know, um, yeah. So a lot of people who, the ordinary people, a lot of those didn't have cars then. That's just almost what we just had with the toilet paper. We had limited. Well, they were stored toilet paper, but think about the meat supply, things of that nature. Now it's coming. That was our first phase. Now the second phase, they're talking about, we're going back. Come on. What, Lulu? Oh no, she stopped. They're talking about that we're going back, but this time, the next time is going to be worse, and um, it's gonna be a shortage on meat. It's already getting a shortage on meat. Did they? If it was really a shortage, would they really know that ahead of time? Yes, yes. Would they plan ahead? Yes. But since this is man-made, like this is manufactured, because you can't have I can't wait. I can't say that things don't get extinct, but we know in normal terms, in normal life, that everything doesn't meat just all meat just does not go. all animals have not died. Um, Therefore, we have meat. All the chickens have not died. You know, we've seen that in a lot of videos, and a lot of people who are definitely like in that field, dealing with agriculture and dealing with farming, are coming out and telling that, telling that story and telling that break, like, hey, um, we're we have the utensils, we have, the food, even though they're saying it's a shortage, we have this, we're not able to get it through, you know. Um, so this was intentional, and so then the next phase, like I said, the next phase they're already planning on not having meat, and since a lot of people complied and we're going through with it, um, they're gonna push forward. Oh shoot, that's a lot of glass, Lulu. Come on, keep going. Yeah, they're gonna keep going. Um, and the ones who didn't, go with it, they were deemed as crazy, nut making. They were hostile states. They were hostile places. When, a lot of those people were defending their right. If you look at it, not to say that you shouldn't be careful and be precautious if there's an illness. Not saying that. I'm saying that we still have rights. We still have, according to the Constitution, um, that we have, Um, so yeah, make no mistake about it. This was not. Well, Lulu, make no mistake. Sorry, I put it in the trash. Make no mistake about it. This was not. Um, this was not for play. This was the first trial. This was a test run. You know. We are not going back to the normal. This is the new normal. Welcome to the new normal. And they're going to phase us out because when you want someone to comply, you never come out and you tell them things right in the front. Think about a narcissist. He never tells you or she never tells you that they're crazy and that they want to do something really, really crazy and really, really extreme. They phase it out. They'll put on a nice face and slowly the mask comes off. That's the same thing dealt with social conditioning. And it can be done in good ways and positive ways. We've seen that time and time again in history that a lot of social conditioning, it helps a lot. Think about people with who goes to the CPT therapy, cognitive behavior therapy. You're letting them know over time. They're telling their point of view, but you're kind of bringing them to reality slowly. You don't tell everything. Like, I remember when I was going through what I was dealing with narcissistic people. As I was going through the process, come on, as I was going through that process, it was very hard for me to touch reality because it was painted, and I was around people who was trying to distort my reality, and what the therapist was trying to do was slowly have me to tell my story and make me realize the facts, slowly realize the facts, and that's when you're able to grasp it. That's the same thing with social conditioning. We don't learn things, even though people want to say that we learn things so quickly, we learn them better, slower, because it's almost like second nature. It goes into your subconscious. So, say for instance, they say, okay, just like when the CDC came to my job and said the second time is going to be worse. So, when the second time comes, not only are we staying in, people are more willing to stay in longer and to not question, when they come and come in and personally come into your house and ask you for these temperatures, because that's what one of the main goals was to come in and come into your personal dwelling and be able to orchestrate this thing and to do the vaccinations and things like that. If they can come into your house, they can administer the vaccine, and it's law and it's on the books, then they are able to control who and what is being chosen and who gets the vaccine and who doesn't. People you gotta understand. You gotta understand that. Oh shit, girl, what are you doing? Sorry, you guys. She went into almost a pothole. Usually she doesn't do that. I think she's really hyper because it's sunny and it's hot. So I'm not going to try to stay on here too long. Yeah. Luna walk. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, understand that it's never going to be the new normal, you guys. This is the new normal. It's not going to be the same way like it used to be. Nothing, because they're pushing it, and it's no way to turn back. If you turn back and you think it's going to be the old way, you're going to have a hard time adjusting to when it gets even tougher. So, the best thing I can say is prepare. Once again, I'm so grateful to God. I thought I was really, really losing my mind, but God was calling me out, and if you hear this message and you're feeling like it's resonating, usually it's just God calling you out, true God calling you out, because he really is calling his people out to do big and great exploits. But not only that, but he's calling us as vessels and to call us to be separate away from people who are not watching, who are not vigilant, who are blinded by what they're being told, and what is being projected to them. I don't know, it's just a great thing because when I was, like I said, when I was going through my whole thing and, being jobless and keeping going, I mean, I was getting ostracized. It was horrible. I did have always something to eat, always, but it was really tough for me. And I know, like, going through this and having this to happen, having this happen on a larger scale, if this was to happen again, I know that I would make it, the things that God was telling me before, it makes sense, so, yeah, this is not, it's not a test, it's not a game, it's just a test run, literally, it's literally a test run, and like I said, if you don't believe me, type up social conditioning. Type up social conditioning. That was one of the main things that we learn in psychology, changing someone's viewpoint. Because they change their own mindset, but you can change someone's viewpoint. You really can. Yeah. What else? I think that is about it for that one. For this one, it's just been on my mind a lot, and like I said, I couldn't pick up anything to record. I couldn't find this device, so, also, I forgot. Okay, so also, another app and another thing that I know that is being going on, like, you know how your cell phone kind of tracks your location with or without your knowledge. Like, that was something that President Obama had already signed and got into effect. Social conditioning, okay? That wasn't put on, right now. Of course, if it was, people would be looking at it like it was crazy. There were a lot of things that happened during the Obama administration that was the same way as the Trump administration. Because why? This is something that is bigger than them. Like, y'all got to think about it. It's no longer, it's showing more and more, it's no longer black and white. It's no longer Democrats, Republicans, or independents. It's bigger. They're trying to do things on a global scale. So, there were, like I said, there was a lot of things that, there were a lot of things that were passed during that time, a lot of things. And one of them was that the bill on the electronics where it pings you and does all that, Now, they can do all that, and they can ping your location. And we just dealt with this, and they want us to social distance. Y'all think about those future movies when they were talking about that, and there were these droids. I forgot what movie it was. And the people had their phones, and they were, like, pinging them to make sure that they were like social distance. Sorry, they were. I'm going down like one of the main streets. So yeah, they were pinging them and showing them that they were not 6 feet apart. You know, and yeah, a lot of those people went to jail. A lot of those people lost their lives in that movie. You know, think about that in real life. And I would say this: a lot of the movies. Think about all the futuristic movies. Most of our futuristic movies, especially like that, were in the like 80s, of course the 70s, have came to life. They have come to life and exceeded. Some of them have exceeded. You know what those movies were. You know, so and I don't think that was an accident either. You know, it's all a game. It's all a test. You know, it's social. Like I said, social conditioning. It's gonna lay it out step by step so that you comply with not a whole bunch of things, but a little bit of things. You know, if you can comply with this, if you comply with this, it's better to get you to comply with one thing right now and get you to comply with something else later than for you to comply to something that looks totally irrational, you know. What else? What do I say? If this was like 20 years ago and there were people trying to, and there were people trying to, have sex with minors, you know, or teenagers, you know, we always had that in our society. You know, before I was here, and whenever I leave, it's probably still gonna be here. But older people trying to date or to try to marry younger people. Say, for instance, a 14-year-old getting married to a 60-year-old. You know, you would say, you know, in the 80s or even now, you would say that is absurd. Um, but you wouldn't take too much or think that it's bad if it was already legal for if they slowly went out and the first step was that they made it legal for 17-year-olds to marry, you know, 60-year-olds. Then they made it legal for 16-year-olds to marry 60-year-olds. You know, that next year when they say 15 to make, you know, 60-year-olds okay, and they make that a law, you're going to be less hesitant or reluctant to fight that law when they come down, when they bring the age down to 14. You know, that is the same way that we are coming through this. You know, am I saying to forget everything, to forget those masks and everything? No. Am I saying to wear all the masks every day? No, because I don't. Um, what I am saying is be on guard. What I am saying is look out and watch your surroundings. What I am saying is that um, don't look at it from both ways. Look, observe all things. Look at that glass. If it's half empty, also remember that it's half full. If it's half full, also remember it's half empty. You know, and look at how far you got to go to the top. You know, I also have come to grips with the notion that we can't stop what is going on because it's been the divine will to do so. It's already been in the cards. It's already been played out. However, you can individually, when you know what's going on, you know how to distance yourself. You know, and grow and get the best out of this. You know, there were a lot of things that I did benefit from this time. You know, that social distancing and staying indoors. Some of that stuff was really good for me. You know, so yeah. Please understand that. I'm gonna get off of here because I know it was like, okay, Bill, you got all 20 minutes of this, but it was worth it. I needed to get that out there. I know that I'm going to be held accountable if I don't say anything. So, yeah, there. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and thank you so much.